My name's Simon Brown, I'm head of CG at Passion Pictures, and this is my hot take. The use of AI is going to affect every part of the animation industry eventually. We're seeing it in pretty much, being involved in pretty much every task that we do. AI is an umbrella term for hundreds of techniques within, that sphere. The implications for companies and clients are that the cost versus quality, and the implications for the crews and the artists involved in making the work is really profound. It can be the difference between your job existing or not at all. Predominantly in graphics, we're using techniques where you can use like one of three typical techniques. One might be where you're training the computer to do something specifically, so you feed it as many images as you can, and then bias it towards those images, and that you can feed it your renders and say, make it like this, and it'll interpret that and try and weave that into the work you've done, and that's training. You're basically supervising the training of the AI. Another way is error. So one example might be animating a dinosaur. You give it the context, you give it the bones of the dinosaur, you give it the muscles of the dinosaur, and you give it the tissue of the dinosaur, and then you say, figure out how to walk, and the computer will learn by making mistakes. So that's another common way. It's a machine, and you're feeding it as much data as possible to learn specific connections, patterns. It's pattern forming. I mean, the one thing you learn when you start CG is that if you don't find a way to automate repetitive tasks, you can't get the work done quick enough. Appraising imagery, object recognition, rotoscoping wasn't possible in the way it is now before AI, before the emergence of AI. It's on everyone's heels. And there's a genuine fear that, is my job going to be here in the next couple of years? But there's a couple of things that I think negate that. One is that it's unchoreographable specifically, and our industry requires super specific direction from the client, from the agency, from the director, from the art director, from the creative directors. You need to be able to do really specific things, and AI is not there yet. The pros of using AI are that it's incredibly fast. It can generate many, many images. Like an art worker, say you said to an art worker, you've got to I need an image of a room. An art worker is going to take, a day and a half to get that right, and the AI will have kind of done hundreds of versions by then, one of which you'll think that's great. Also, at the same time, it's not going to be as choreographable. It's not going to be you're not going to be able to ask it to do things in a complex way that a human can do. You're not going to be able to say, oh yeah, and can you feature a certain object in a specific place with this kind of colouring, and you need, for now at least, you need humans to be able to do those things. I suppose that one of the main things for me is, what do we value? For a company, it's easy to say, I want some work done cheap, and you can get a reasonable quality. But what you're going to be missing in that case is what the human wetware does, which is, we have an emotional, biological response to imagery and subject matter. And what AI isn't is cognitive. It's an extraordinarily powerful form of pattern recognition. And I think it's easy for us to misunderstand that. What I'm seeing especially with the 2D artists who paint on the computer, what I'm seeing with them is that they've started to sell the human part of their work as well, and they're branding themselves, and that becomes a value because people can see a human making art, and I think that's going to continue. My advice to anyone working animation is just to love what you do and be good at it, because AI is here. It's not going away, and we're going to use it. What we're seeing at the moment is that people who are embracing it and using it are getting a lot of attention, especially if they're successful in using it in a controlled way where they impose, this kind of the human elements that I've been talking about within the media. So they're using it at that point as a media or as a tool set. And I think the more we can do that, the better. I think in the industry today, everybody needs to be aware of AI. It's coming, and it's probably one of the most powerful tools available. Whether you use that in a cynical way or whether you view it as something that can, free potential within your creativity is up to the people that use it. It's just a tool, and I think it should be seen as such. And that's my hot take.